Hello! I am EmKay Archlink. I am the author of the book Unseen Powers in the TikToker Ninja Gal EmKay. Welcome to RAW-tism, a podcast about my autistic experience and my opinions on the world. On this podcast, I will be raw and unfiltered. You are always welcome to disagree with me, as long as you do so respectfully and with no name-calling. Any usage of the R slur will get you immediately blocked. This week's topic is the common neurodivergent struggle of filtering language. Most people understand that specific issues are only discussed in particular places. For example, speaking in depth about bathroom experiences or diaper changes at a restaurant is not polite. That might seem obvious, but these unspoken rules can be challenging for autistics to learn and understand. I can say that it's been an issue for me my whole life. An analogy that I've used many times before is that my autism is like being a toddler in an adult's body. I have the life experience and government proof of my adulthood. I own a car, rent an apartment, and pay a bajillion bills. Even with all that, my wisdom of social cues is dreadful. The unspoken rules that most adults know are puzzling to me. I do my best to survive this holistic world by surrounding myself with people willing to put in the time to explain fundamental social concepts to me. Otherwise, I struggle to catch on and can unintentionally come across as rude or insensitive. It sounds crazy to a lot of people. I can't tell you how often I've heard,
"You need to think before you speak."
My problem isn't the lack of thought in what I say. I assure you, my anxiety will go over it 50,000 times in my brain before transmitting it to my mouth. The problem is that my rule book on society has too many blank pages. As a kid, I got into so much trouble for putting my foot in my mouth, and I would have no idea how it got there. Learning to play a game without knowing all the rules is incredibly frustrating. In my adult-toddler analogy, if you give a 3-year-old a basketball and tell them to take it to the basket at the end of the court, I'd bet my life savings on that kid carrying the ball instead of dribbling it. No one would blame them. They're just a kid. And everyone understands they're still learning. The rules of speech are a similar dilemma. I've always been fascinated with the rules of grammar and cadence. I've been complimented on my eloquence and strength in writing for as long as I could remember. Those social rules were taught to me, and I excelled. Unfortunately, no one taught me how to talk socially. It was supposed to come naturally, but it never did. Hi, friends. I'm sure you've noticed that I'm not on TikTok as much anymore. I've been struggling mentally and have found it challenging to cope with having a full-time job. Thankfully, working 9 to 5 isn't the only way to make a living. Now there's a new way to support me, and it's available through the link in my bio. For the low price of $1 per month, you can get the same content you loved on TikTok on Patreon. But wait, there's more! I also post weekly karaoke videos, early release ad-free podcast episodes, and exclusive behind-the-scenes content from my videos, podcasts, and books. If I get 4,000 subscribers, I'd be able to make content creation my full-time job. Go to the link in the description and sign up for my Patreon now. Autism is different for everyone. Having my particular cocktail of autism, ADHD, OCD, and anxiety, I tend to lean toward vocal stimulation as a way to settle my brain. Vocal stimming is a repetitive behavior that serves as a coping mechanism. Various stimuli, which in my case include ordinary strong emotions, can trigger it. Vocalizations can take many forms, including humming, grunting, moaning, or repeating words or phrases. Another way that my brain uses vocal stimulation is through the common comorbidity of autism, echolalia. Echoing words or phrases heard or spoken prior is typical of autism. For me, echolalia is a secret agent inside my mind. %90 of the time, I have no idea I am copying what I heard or repeating myself incessantly. This can lead to being an annoyance or getting yelled at to shut the up. One time, I had finished helping my friend at the time with their groceries at a local Walmart. On our way out of the store, I saw a little girl with cute boots showing the characters of the Disney movie Frozen. Unbeknownst to me, after my first comment about the shoes, I repeated the word boots under my breath. Boots, 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 boots. By the time we settled into the friend's car, they were at their wits' end with me. They told me they loved me but could not stand me repeating words and asked me to stop. They were so annoyed with me that I was quiet the whole ride back to their apartment. I was terrified of making it worse because I had no idea that I was doing anything in the first place. Thankfully, I now have friends who communicate immediately rather than letting it get to the point of annoyance. I appreciate being told that I've been repeating myself or that one of my actions is negatively affecting those around me. It's better to get a casual heads up than to feel the world sour around you without ever knowing why. Because of my sneaky echolalia vocal stimming, I do my best to avoid any media that contains slurs. The R slur pisses me off and will trigger hours of ranting on my part, but there are other slurs that I avoid because I know repeating them could trigger others. I can't listen to songs or watch movies that have the N-word. The risk of repeating it unintentionally is much greater than I am willing. I avoid the F slur that pertains to gays, and any word that puts down a minority. It does limit what rap songs I can listen to, but I feel like it's my duty to make sure that my disability does not harm those around me. Regardless of your thoughts and feelings toward me, I have a love for every one of you. You are wanted by many, loved by many, and so many want you to stay in this world. I'm one of these manys and always will be. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and thank you for listening to RAW-tism. If you'd like to support this podcast, the description includes links with referral codes to Circle's water bottles, Pair Eyewear's customizable glasses, and my favorite Amazon products. The transcription for this episode can be found at ninjagalmk.com/blog, which is also linked below. Would you like to see more of me? In that case, visit EmKayArchlink.com for links to my TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. My book, Unseen Powers, is available in hardback, paperback, or digitally through Amazon. Remember to drink water, eat some nummies, and have your best life.